Quiet Riot would release their album Metal Health in 1983, and it would make music history. Metal Health would become the first metal album in history to top the album charts. While Quiet Riot had a lot to celebrate, their time at the top would be short-lived. A year after the album was released, Quiet Riot, pressured by their label, would release their follow-up Condition Critical. Trying to capitalize off the success of Metal Health, the album's artwork bore a similar resemblance and featured another Slade cover. While it would go platinum in America, it sold almost a sixth of its predecessor. Things were even more dire for the band when they released their follow-up 1986's Quiet Riot 3. Infighting and disagreements with the label pointed to a steep decline in the band's popularity. It was no surprise that Quiet Riot had a dysfunctional relationship with their label, given that their original demos were hated by CBS, and it was only after producer Spencer Proffer begged the label for money that they got a deal. Kevin Dubrow would recall to Full and Bloom the band's relationship with their label, saying, "We were always trying to get things the way we wanted them. We had to fight for everything. Then when we all became big, they all thought we should be grateful for what we had, that we were lucky to get what we had. Instead of kissing the ring, they looked down and said, 'You should be grateful for what you have, you little a-holes.'" To his bandmates, Dubrow's ego existed long before Quiet Riot had a hit with Metal Health, and it would create a number of problems. Drummer Frankie Banali would tell Louder Sound, "Kevin was, for better or worse, the single most honest person I've ever known. If he had an opinion, he'd verbalize it loudly and often. What most people only think of or whisper in private, Kevin would scream at the top of his lungs. That kind of honesty is rare, and it comes with a price, which Quiet Riot paid dearly." The success of Metal Health only validated Dubrow's ego, as he soon started taking credit for other LA bands who followed in their footsteps. According to Louder Sound, Dubrow even attacked Ozzy Osbourne by saying, and I quote, "He sang like a frog." Since bassist Rudy Sarzo was between stints with Quiet Riot and Ozzy, he created some awkwardness. On top of that, Sarzo was tired of defending Dubrow's behavior, and also contributing to the tensions between the band and Dubrow was the frontman's substance abuse issues. By 1985, tensions rose to the point that Sarzo was out of the band, and the following year in 1986, the writing was on the wall. Quiet Riot 3 was a flop, peaking at number 31, with no impactful singles, and they soon started playing smaller venues. By 1986, Quiet Riot were touring with an up-and-coming band named Poison, who just released their debut album, Look What the Cat Dragged In. Poison drummer Ricky Rocket would reveal in the book Nothing But a Good Time, some of those early tours in the Winnebago were tough. We opened for Quiet Riot in clubs, and at the time Kevin Dubrow and their tour manager were not the easiest people to work with. We had too many restrictions on us. A lot of the audiences were there to see Quiet Riot. They didn't give a damn who the opening act was. We started to embrace that competitiveness, he'd say. In the same book, Banali would concur with Rocket's assessment, claiming that Poison had no writer to speak of, and Banali would feel bad for them and would frequently fill up plastic bags with food and drinks and bring it over to Poison's dressing room. Howie Huberman, who was one of the first early backers of Poison, would reveal in the same book, "I think Poison got into a huge fight one day with Quiet Riot, and at that point within 2 months it was a flip-flop, and Quiet Riot would be happy to open up for Poison. If Poison would let them open up for them, then they wouldn't, because Bret Michaels got into it with Kevin Dubrow." It was during the tour that Poison's debut album hit a sales milestone, and either as a way to celebrate or get back at Quiet Riot, or both, Poison destroyed the bathroom in one of their dressing rooms, and according to Banali, since Quiet Riot was the headliner, they got the bill for the damages. Ricky Rocket would perfectly summarize what was happening at that point in time, revealing in the same book, "We all go through things. There was some jealousy. They were on their way down, we were on our way up." Things would end on a sour note on the tour, as Banali would reveal in the same book. "The next show we did might have been in Minneapolis, but it was definitely somewhere where it was cold and snowing. As Poison walked off stage, our tour manager said, 'Okay fellas, the dressing room is this way.' He opened the door and he threw them out into the snow and caused some really bad vibes." By 1987, Dubrow was out of the band he led for many years, with Banali telling Louder Sound, "It wasn't the band that wanted him out, it was management and the label, but it took the band to make the change." Dubrow would return in 1991, fronting the band until his death in 2007. That does it for today's video, guys. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like button and subscribe. We'll see you again on Rock and Roll True Stories. Take care.